Good morning, I'm Erin Davis. The last few years, I've been thinking more deeply about what does it mean to have a Christian worldview. I've been walking with the Lord since college, but still, if I'm not intentional, I can let my personal relationship with Christ stop there at the personal, almost private level. But instead, what does it mean to live publicly for Christ? To use discernment and to think like a Christian in a fallen world, and to be salt and light in my sphere of influence. To learn more about doing that well, I went through a Worldview training course, and I'm continuing to learn and apply that today. It can be hard to live out a Christian worldview because our society is saturated with many bad ideas, and it's confusing. And every person has a worldview, but may or may not live according to what they profess. And to me, that is really convicting. In life-giving discipleship, we see that any worldview attempts to answer the ultimate questions that God places in every human heart. And as believers, we truly can have confidence and courage because historic Orthodox Christianity rightly explains the human experience and the human condition like no other worldview can. I want a firm foundation on God's truth to always inform my worldview. And then that worldview will directly affect my beliefs and values, my feelings and my thoughts, and my actions and decisions. If I'm not grounded here, viewing our changing culture through a biblical lens, then the strident secularism that we are swimming in will directly impact my life, the life of my family, my children, and others as it carries me downstream. But I love this part. The good news is that God's grand narrative from Genesis all the way to Revelation is bigger than the cultural moment that we are in. He's given us the biblical meta-narrative that we see in this week's chapter. It reminds us that God is sovereign. He is on his throne, and Jesus Christ is making all things new. It frames reality in a way that to me gives clarity and confidence in explaining the gospel. It provides a way to lovingly share hope in a culture that is marred by sin and suffering and a staggering loss of identity and meaning. Acts 17:26 tells us that God determines the exact times and places that we live. That means that he has placed us in our present time and place for a purpose. If we are reconciled with God through Christ, then we are called to be reconcilers in a broken world, to promote what is good in our culture, to resist and expose the evil that we see, and to fix what is broken creatively. Many are intentionally doing this work already, but how can I, as a Christ follower, join with others to be a reconciler in our broken world? That's what worldview formation has clarified for me.